couple years ago, I was riding my bicycle across South Dakota and I came across this covered wagon. And for those of you who can't read it, it says Ingalls Homestead, 3/4 mile. So you remember the little house on the prairie, the true story of the Ingalls family, Pa, Ma, Laura, and her sisters. And here it was, the real little house on the prairie. So I turn off on this gravel road, and the first thing you find is this white schoolhouse. And it's just like on TV, the long rows of desks, the big blackboard up front. And there's this woman in period costume sitting at the teacher's desk, and I pay my money and I look around, I ask her some questions, and she just talks and talks. She's lonely. Well, I extricate myself from there and I ride my bicycle up this little hill, and there it is, the little house on the prairie. But it's nothing like on TV. It's just this teeny little house with peeling paint, overlooking this dried out slough, surrounded by browning grass, no trees, just a few lilac bushes, and the wind is just howling across that prairie. It's like, looks like something out of the Depression or something. Well, there wasn't anybody there and the doors were locked, so I just got back on my bike and I started up on this little prairie trail up into town. And about halfway to town, I passed this little old man, and he's leading this spotted milk cow. So I get into town, DeSchmidt, South Dakota's real town, and I get a motel, I get a burger, and I'm walking back to my motel, and I see this spotted milk cow tied up in front of this bar. So I go in. There's the little old guy sitting at the table. He's already got like 4 empties in front of him. He waves over me. He says, "You're probably wondering about that cow out there." He says, "Well, I live with 4 women. So when I need to get out of the house, I tell Ma that Bessie jumped the fence again, and then I got to go find her. And that's how I get here." "Ray, get this guy a beer." That voice. Was that the voice I heard on NBC for all those years? "Pa? Are you Pa Ingalls?" "That's him, all right," said Ray. "Quite the picture, huh? And he owes 2 months on his bar tab, too." "Well, you know that ain't fair, Ray. Well, how was I to know I shouldn't have moved out to this dried out prairie? Why, that wind out there, it's gonna kill another crop. And living with all these women, well, it cuts a man deep, Ray. If I could rub 2 nickels together, I'd be out of here." Well, just then the door opened and this huge old man came in. He had this tall white cowboy hat, rounded, and he shows Ray his picture. "You seen this feller? I've been done looking for him for a lot of years. I reckon this picture's 50 years old or more." Pa Ingalls' eyes dropped out of his head. "Hoss? Hoss Cartwright?" "Yep, it's me, little brother. I've been looking for you for a long time, but you don't go by Little Joe no more." Now my eyes popped out. Little Joe Cartwright was Pa Ingalls. Well, Pa explained, well, back when Ma was a dance hall floozy in Virginia City and we ran off together, well, our Pa Ben, he disowned me and I changed my name. And South Dakota was opening up and we came here and we found a nice place overlooking a lake. That lake dried up and we ain't made a dime since, Hoss. I miss the Ponderosa. I miss the Sierras. I miss Lake Tahoe. "Well, come on home, little brother. I still own part of the Ponderosa. Adam, he took the part on the lake and he made it into condos and now he's a lobbyist in Sacramento. But the part I kept, it's awful pretty, little Joe. And I run some cows and I could use a hand." Just then the door opened again. It was that lady from the schoolhouse. Pa, Ma sent me down here to drag you home again. That Bessie story ain't fooling nobody. What, you got a family, little brother? Yeah, Hoss. This is my daughter, Laura. Laura, this is my brother, Hoss. And well, Laura, I never told you about my family back by Lake Tahoe. We had this big ranch, and it's so beautiful there, Laura. And well, you know, me and Ma we ain't been getting along so good. And Hoss wants me to go with him, and I'm thinking about going. Oh, Pa, take me with you. I'm so tired of this dried out prairie. Why? I'm hoping that someone would take me away. Today I was even hitting on a guy on a bicycle. Oh, Pa, I want to see the mountains. I want to see California. Well, Pa said, I think that answers it, Hoss. They slugged down their drinks and they headed toward the door. And just as they were leaving the door, Pa turned around and said, hey, stranger, would you make sure Bessie gets back to the farm? And Laura added, yeah, and tell Ma I ain't gonna pick the eggs in the morning no more. And so that's how me and Bessie ended up stumbling down a prairie trail into the sunset. Bum, ba-da-dum, 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 bum, bum, bum.